Good afternoon. Welcome to the 1873 TV. I'm privileged to have Dr. Makamba, James Makamba, on air and talking the future I want. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. You have so many titles: the warrior, doctor, professor, Mr. Mawere. So, but anyway, Mutumwa Mawere.
That's the one.
Compliments of the season.
Or complications of the season. Which one is easier, complications or compliments?
No, compliments. Compliments. There's just so much positivity in the air to talk about complications, compliments rather.
Yeah. So we hear you were in Zimbabwe for the first time since, is it 2005?
The 16th of June, 2005.
How did you feel when you arrived at RG? Is it RGM Airport?
Harare International Airport is what I read.
Okay, it has not been transformed. I thought there was a new name.
Well, I don't know. I didn't, to be honest, I didn't look around or dwell much on that. I thought I saw Harare International Airport.
Okay, you are there, and what can you share about your feeling just being back?
It was mixed feelings. We touched down as the plane was taxiing. You look around and you say, oh, am I going to get out? And is everything going to be all right? And then you clear customs and immigration, and there was my family and friends, waiting for me. We drove home. The landscape around the airport is, as you know, frequent that has changed. You now have dual carriageway. You have a few roundabouts between the airport and town. All this happened after I had left in 2005. So that the airport, there's a lot of development there. It looks good. It's wide. It's dual carriageway. And then, proceeded to go home and to be in your house for the first time in 13 years, to walk around and look at the plants and look at the workers, look at the fields, and people rushing towards me, to welcome me. It's just an indescribable feeling. It was great. It was great to be home.
That's good. It was great. And I think the president has said, let bygones be bygones. And
President Mnangagwa, to be precise.
Yeah, to be precise, yeah. He has said, let bygones be bygones. Let's move on. What is your take on that plea?
Well, I think he's saying the things that were obviously he wasn't in charge. He worked as a minister under someone else, and later as a vice president under someone else. And you know yourself, you have headed corporations. There is only one boss, and when you are given instructions, you may have your own ideas, but if the boss ideas always prevail. And for the president, someone with a military training and a military background, when the commander-in-chief says, go, you go. So I take this to mean that certain things may have been done in the past, not to the best interest of the country. Our country includes its citizens. We all know what happened. We have seen interventions at the moment in, properties, being retained, and people who were discriminated against, allowed to come back into the country. So he's saying, let's forget about the past. But in forgetting about the past, I'm sure there's some articulation, you know, which should come with that. I think we should come with that. Because some of the things that happened in the past, you know, impinge on the laws of Zimbabwe. But I think he has come in with a new spirit. He wants to rebuild Zimbabwe. He wants everybody, everyone involved. He wants us to move forward. Obviously, we've lost a lot of time. There's a lot of making up to do. And I think the world has shown goodwill. He was in South Africa a few days ago, 2 days ago. A meeting which I believe 200 people expected ended up with some 20,000 people. So everyone is anxious. There's a lot of goodwill in the air. They want to see what he's going to do to usher in a new Zimbabwe.
And your relationship with property, were you affected before you left Zimbabwe? Did you lose any property?
It's public knowledge that I had Joy TV, you know, shut down for unexplained reasons.
So can you tell us, when was Joy TV shut down?
Joy TV was shut down in 2002.
Oh, 2002, okay.
2002, yes.
Who was the then minister when it was shut down?
The then minister was Professor Moyo.
Were any reasons given for the shutdown?
No, not really. Nothing that I could, you know, lay my hands on. I remember, you know, I had a meeting the day before, because rumors were doing the mill that the station was going to be shut down. And I had audience with the then, you know, Minister of, of Police? Forgive it's a long time. But everybody says, no, nothing like that is going to happen. Then, of course, at 5 o'clock, the signal didn't come on. And you ask for the reasons, you are given a bunch of reasons that the authorities were not happy. Because I had interviewed certain people on a program that I presented, people that the authority...
Did you interview Dr. Changirai?
I did interview him, yes.
Because I remember the show.
I did interview him. And, you know, funny enough, I had calls from a lot of party cadres saying, hey, this is what, you know, independent TV can do, and we can do with this cooperation. I mean, with this competition. It was a friendly competition. It wasn't hostile at all. And as you know, I was a party cadre then. I was a member of parliament. I had just stepped down as a member of parliament for Mount Darwin constituency, and I was a member of the Central Committee. So
there you are. You were no warning, no notice, no communication. And the signal is off.
The signal is off, yes. And £500,000, British pounds, gone down the drain, because we used to import very popular, you know, programming like the Sunset Beach. You know, we did, you know, the Premier League. We used to show, you know, programming that the government station was not showing. So per capita, very quickly we acquired a higher listenership, you know, than the then, you know, broadcasting authority. And so it was easy for Joy TV to request payment in advance from advertising agencies and clients because they knew, you know, their investment was safe. So at the time the station was closed, I had 29 employees headed by Mr. Clement Munetsi. And we had taken £500,000 from clients. I had to sell property to return the money. CBZ were our bankers then, and everything is out, you know, on record.
And
I hope we, you know, we can be compensated, or at least get Joy TV back on the air.
And you are saying that there was a relationship between Joy TV and ZBC.
Joy TV.
Was it contractual?
Yes, it was. It was contractual, Mr. Mawere. As you know, to be a fully fledged broadcasting entity, you own your own studios. We had our own studios. We had our own continuity announcers. We had our own programming, but we leased the transmitters from the Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation. So, I mean,
under a contract?
Under a contract, yes. Under a contract, yes. So the contract was violated. But yeah, we leased the transmitters. So they could turn on and turn off.
But the termination, was it pursuant to a breach, or it was arbitrary?
It was arbitrary. It was arbitrary. Because if in a case where you have a breach, you get a notice, the lawyers step in, you begin negotiations. If it's payment, you ask for some time to pay back. You can go to and seek relief, to a court of law. Nothing like that. The shutdown was arbitrary.
Are you saying Professor was party to this, or he had knowledge of it?
I don't think the professor was part to it.
But when it was terminated,
I don't think the professor was party to it. I mean, to be honest, when he was the Minister of Information at the time with Joy TV, he dealt, with us as a station in a very professional way. So I don't think he had anything to do with the shutdown.
But when it was shut down, did he contact you, or was there any communication with the ministry, or what was the next step?
Then, we appealed. We appealed to government then to have the station, restored. But no one. This is why I say the professor had nothing to do with it. No one could give you anything that you could put your hands around. It was, we'll come back to you. Okay, we need to consult. Okay. It was a merry-go-round. So at some stage, we just said, well, through the intervention of God, maybe one day we'll be compensated and be able to get Joy TV back on the air, because it was a good station. We had professional staff. I myself produced what was one of the best programs in the country, Makamba at Night. Very educative, entertaining. There was no good reason for the station to be shut down. But, those were the times. And this is what His Excellency President Mnangagwa is saying: let bygones be bygones. Let's start afresh. So, we can begin a new Joy that's prevalent, that's relevant to what is going on in the country, what is going on in the world, that's responsive, to today's listenership. There's a lot of talent out there. We can show, movies made by our people, stories written by our people. There's just so much. It can be a base for, talent acquisition for the greater Zimbabwe.
So this was in 2002?
Yes.
2003, no events. You were a shareholder of a company called Telecel Zimbabwe.
It was a company called Flame Lily Broadcasting Corporation.
Oh, that is for the Joy TV.
That is the company that owned Joy TV, yes.
Okay. And that company that has not been compensated or no?
Visual. Is this visual? Can you see me?
I can see you.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
You are hiding your face.
Okay, you can't see my face.
Yeah. Why are you hiding your face? Now I can see your white teeth.
Okay. Can you see me?
I can see you now.
Okay. All right. Okay. You can see me.
I can see you, sir. I can see you, sir.
So
we had started talking about Telecel. What a lot of people don't know about Telecel is Telecel was the first mobile telephone network to operate in Africa. founded by a Mr. Miko Waitare with his American partner called Joe Gatt. Joe Gatt had worked as the general manager of Air Zaire in that time of Joseph Mobutu, when Mobutu was the president. And so Telecel was the first network to operate in Africa in 1986. You yourself, Mr. Mawere, are aware of that because you played a role in mobile telephony, coming to Zimbabwe. Again, something that's not known by a lot of people, that it was through your good offices. Am I allowed to take a sip?
Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
It was through your good offices when you were with the IFC, when Miko Waitare, came to the IFC, because Telecel International was partly funded by the IFC, that, he came to you saying, look, can I be introduced to someone in Zimbabwe that I can work with? People are ignorant of all these facts, but this is factual. That's right. You played a role in the introduction of mobile telephony, in Zimbabwe. Am I not saying the truth? Can you dispute it?
No, we can't dispute it. And I think facts are there. And you and the consortium then came together to be able to provide that telephony.
Empowerment Corporation, we then came together, to partner with Telecel International to form, Telecel Zimbabwe. I'm the founding chairman. I bonded 16 properties. Mr. Gideon Gono and Mr. Makuise then were the two top executives at CBZ. Mr. Mangunja, who is now the governor of the Reserve Bank, was part of the executive team that did the assessment whether Telecel Zimbabwe could be viable. And we've since worked with the bank, closely. You hear a lot of lies, you hear a lot of claims, you hear a lot of allegations. People just don't have the discipline to listen to the truth and go about in finding out what the truth is. But that is the truth. There are people like yourself, people like Miko Waitare, people like the Adjudication Committee, people like the senior...
Joe Gatt, you've already said.
Joe Gatt, who was Miko's partner, Mr. Gideon Gono, Mr. Makuvise, Mr. Mangunja. All these gentlemen were involved with Telecel Zimbabwe, becoming a reality.
And I think one of the areas was the indigenization trust, that the license ought to have been owned and operated by indigenous people. I think we have lost Mr. Makamba. Obviously, if you are watching out there, that is the story we just wanted. We now know Mr. Makamba is back and in South Africa, but he was in Zimbabwe and I believe he's going back to the country. And he is optimistic. He has taken heed of the call by the president to become active, to be engaged. And he is in Zimbabwe, and there are too many and too large captions on the screen. Okay, we cannot see your face. Please remove your cap. Okay. And I think Dr. Makamba is no longer available on air. I'll try to reach out to him so that we can possibly complete the interview at a later stage. But I think you heard it from Dr. Makamba, and his take on what transpired with respect to Joy TV, a station that he was operating under an agreement with ZBC. That station, that arrangement was arbitrarily and unilaterally terminated, resulting in loss of assets, in loss of income, and this is what we have. And I think there are some comments. Professor Moyo destroyed hopes of so many. Yes, we used to enjoy Sunset Beach, Auxilia Nyamwana, Gerald Belt, Joy TV provided good and excellent shows. Let's have it back on track. We need choice and variety. But he was minister though, and he was pushing for 100% local content. Was it not the time? Thank you, JM, talking good about Prof. Moyo. Wildfire, talking about my cap. So I'm sorry, is it true that one of the Teleso board members is related to President EDM? I guess when we do get Dr. Makamba back, we shall do the honors. Thank you very much for being part of this conversation, and we will try to get Dr. Makamba back. Thank you.